Hello everybody, this is Froito Bond, and welcome to race number 20 of the 2020-21 NROL Goldfish Truck Series season. This is the Kinkisharyo 200 at Twin Ring Motegi. And yes, this Truck Series season has been quite wild, and it is time for the first round of the playoffs, the first race that will have an impact towards the season champion. And not only that, but the Truck Series is visiting Japan for the first time. Yes, sir. NROL Goldfish Truck Series racing in Japan. This race should be a good one. So, with that being said, let's give you the starting grid for this race. Wrong camera. Alright, so on pole for this one is Chase Dunbar. Alongside him in second is Mitchell Collins. Third is Simon Majeski. Fourth is Adam Garcia. Fifth is Spencer Davis. Sixth is Paul Jackson. Seventh is Logan Cole. Eighth is David Gravel. Ninth is Austin Hill. 10th is Christian Vargas. 11th is Sheldon Creed. 12th is Zane Smith. 13th is John Nimchek. 14th is Zachary DeLillo. 15th is Ryan Truex. 16th is Stuart Friesen. 17th is Johnny Sauter. 18th is Ben Rhodes. 19th is Paul Jackson. Isaac Nordic. 20th is Cody Cleveland. 21st Grant Finger. 22nd is Matt Crafton. 23rd is William Seaman. 24th is Todd Ankrum. 25th is Brett Moffitt. 26th is Marshall Burrow. 27th is Galen Downey. 28th is Rafael Stard. 29th is Todd Gillen. 30th is Chance Smith. 31st is Christian Eckes. 34th is Derek Krause. 35th is Tate Fongman. 36th is Brandon Poole. 37th is Jared Gray. 38th is Nal Decker. 37th is Nal Decker. 38th is Spencer Boyd. 39th is Oswald Self. 39th is Joe Anderson. 40th is Jennifer Doe Cobb. 41st is Cody Robot. And 42nd is Angelica Rush. Alright, I apologize if I messed up any starting grid results, because it happens sometimes. Alright. Alright, yeah, so Truck Series racing in Japan, and first race of the playoffs. So right now your highest running driver that's actually qualified for the playoffs is Paul Jackson, who is starting in 5th. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys do battle here in Motegi. Yeah, first time you guys have actually seen this track. And now the Cup Series and Siemens Nationals did come to True Motegi last season, but the Truck Series didn't. And also no Siemens Nationals race at Motegi this year, but it is a race for the Truck Series. So the only actual abroad race for the Truck Series this season, every other race these guys run is in the United States. But it was quite something to get all these trucks over here to Japan for this race. But we're here now and ready to go. And here we come to the stripe. And green flag is in the air for the Kinkisharyo 200 at Twin Ring Motegi. I do apologize if I've butchered up the sponsor name. Chase Dunbar going low already, going to the bottom lane, following Am Garcia, or Mitch Collins. Mitch Collins through the first corner. And Ty Majeski just behind, trying to go somewhere. Now, Twin Ring Motegi is a pretty flat racetrack. It's actually an egg-shaped oval, quite like Darlington. As Paul Jackson on the inside of Ty Majeski, trying to pull away and take advantage of the points reset going into the playoffs. Now, of course, the points aren't exactly even. You know, with the system that we have, you know, whatever you did in the regular season will somewhat come over to the start of the playoffs. As Logan Cole dives beneath Paul Jackson and overtakes him and goes up to 3rd. And Paul Jackson trying to fight back on the high line, but he's kind of struggling. Here comes Sheldon Creed going to the inside, and Paul Jackson all the way on the high line as Austin Hill is going low. And for some strange reason, the rest of the field isn't here. Not sure why that is. I think we might have a caution. as Chase Dunbar, if we do have a caution, do we have a caution? We do have a caution, but before we get to the caution, let's look back just a little bit. As Chase Dunbar, right behind Mitchell Collins, he's going to dive into turn 3. And Mitchell Collins is going to win the race back to the line as one of the few surviving trucks that get back to the line as we're now under caution for the first time today. So, let's see though why the caution came out. Looks like it was a bit of a crash or something. I don't know what happened, but we're going to find out. Because for some strange reason, I mean, oh, looks like it was out for quite a while actually. Like, right when they got... Oh, okay, yeah, right after the start-finish line, the crash happened. And it looks like it involved... Actually, for some strange reason, the whole rest of the field was left behind. So let's actually see what happened here. The first crash looks like it involved Galen Downey and Chandler Smith. As Galen Downey was just stuck in the high line, and Tanner Gray gets involved as well, and the two spin. And more things happen. And someone's going for a roll, and it is Tanner Gray, who originally had nowhere to go. He then runs into Jordan Anderson and goes for a tumble. Wow. I did not think that was possible here at Freeman Motegi, but Dana Gray comes all this way to the other side of the world only to flip 3 laps into the race. And Jordan Anderson as well getting... Well, let's actually see the damage of the big damage to Jordan Anderson here. Let's see. So Jordan Anderson just trying to avoid the crash, but then Tanner Gray just comes back. Well, he gets hit by Galen Downey, and then, yeah, nowhere to go. So Jordan Anderson can only just try to get by, and he winds up flipping Tanner Gray over. Wow. I did not think that was possible here. So Tanner Gray out 3 laps into the race. Let's actually work out why the why the field behind. Oh, they just... Huh. So it looks like starting with Tom Majeski, the field just got caught out by the caution flag or something. Yeah. Oh, they were still... they were slowing up. So looks like this crash didn't actually involve any integral drivers, just some of the riffraff. Weird enough, it didn't involve Galen Downey, though, who was actually pretty close to making the playoffs, but just was a couple positions out. So, Galen Downey not in the playoffs. Anyway, under caution for the first time in Motegi. So, time to line them all back up and go again. You know, Motegi has a road course here, but to break the 4th wall from it, unfortunately that road course not available in Air 2003. We only have the oval. In fact, this version of Motegi, well, I see this version, this track in Air 2003 terms is pretty old. Apparently it was made all the way back in 2006, and there has been a new version of the track since. Anyway, getting back to the race, everyone else is catching up. And Tanner Gray done for the day. So I would have asked if anyone was going to pit, but I think it's too early in the race to pit. So. Oh yeah, Galen Downey pitting, but yeah, Jordan Anderson. So the only guys pitting is actually the ones that got damaged from the crash. And here they are. So that crash has taken out Tanner Gray, who didn't really have a shot at winning this race anyways. Alright, so let's fast forward a bit and get back to the green flag. So I had a pretty good battle, and well, lots of stuff going on here. Of course, when the caution came out, but time to go back racing and see what happens. And Green flag. Back in the year in Training Room Motegi. Chase Dunbar getting out to a bit of a speedy lead. And now the drivers starting to pass each other. Logan Cole already going beneath Mitchell Collins, and Sheldon Creed trying to take advantage of this as well. Sheldon Creed has had a horrendous season, trying to do whatever he can now in the last 6 races of the season. Yeah. If you don't make the playoffs, best thing you can do is finish high in points amongst those not in the playoffs. And Chase Dunbar going pretty high up the track. And that's allowing Sheldon Creed to get to his inside. Paul Jackson trying to get further up, but he's got some competition. And Sheldon Creed and Lawson is going about going 3 wide and 2 wide. And Sheldon Creed, just touches Logan Cole a little bit. These two now racing side by side on the front straightaway. Paul Jackson trying to get around all these guys. He's now trying to get around Logan Cole. Sheldon Creed gonna shut the door on him through this corner though. Tom Majeski, the driver who's had a horrendous season, now just getting around Logan Cole. And here comes Zachary DeLillo, who's another driver in the playoffs, just getting around these guys. And Zachary DeLillo now trying to challenge Paul Jackson. Now Zachary DeLillo actually dropped a few spots at the beginning of the playoffs because, Zachary didn't win any races in the regular season. He only made it into the playoffs based off of consistency. So for that reason, he's dropped a few spots, but with how close the points are, he's got 6 races to claw back, and 6 races is just enough. Meanwhile, Paul Jackson got 2 wins, so that's a lot more points to Paul Jackson. Speaking of playoffs, your points leader going into this race of Grant Enfinger back in 23rd. Not very good. And Phil now single file through this corner. Any moment now we should see some passing. Or I think we should anyway. Ooh, Sheldon Creed one's a little bit wide. Seems like it's a bit tricky to pass here at the moment. Paul Jackson trying, and there he goes. Paul Jackson goes beneath Sheldon Creed and is into the lead. And Paul Jackson, a playoff driver, trying to go for his 3rd win of the season. And Ty Majeski also makes a pass on Sheldon Creed. And DeLillo. I'm getting the two Zacharys confused now. Zachary DeLillo just got passed up. Oh, he's going to get passed up by another driver. Johnny Salter, another playoff driver, getting around these guys. And Mitchell Collins trying to make his way up the pack. But Johnny Salter, who's one of the older drivers in the playoffs, he's trying to, make waves and score a title. That's doing pretty good, just getting around Ty Majeski here. And he's also being followed by Zane Smith, another playoff driver. fact, all the playoff drivers getting up here now as Zachary DeLillo is starting to fall back. Not something you want to have happen to you, especially in this stage of the season. Right now, okay, a few of the playoff drivers are all going to the inside lane. And now they have to just get around Mitchell Collins, and then they can race with Paul Jackson. Zane Smith going to the low line. Oh no, he's going to tuck in behind Johnny Sauter. Here, back on the front straightaway as Johnny Sauter. He's going to just try to get to the back of Mitchell Collins, or Adam Garcia this time. Yeah, I do apologize if I'm stumbling. It's been a couple days since I recorded the last broadcast. Plus, I've been doing a lot of stuff today. And a lot of stuff is preparing for this race. And Johnny Sauter actually having a couple difficulties, or some difficulties getting around Adam Garcia. As we're nearing the halfway point in this race, these playoff drivers gotta step it up if they want to keep up with Paul Jackson. All these guys move pretty close to points. There he goes. Johnny Sauter dives beneath Adam Garcia. And is now... Ooh, still has to clear him though. Zane Smith though taking advantage of this. Zane Smith going to the inside lane. And Zane Smith. Ooh, Smith though gets a little bit wide. And Zachary DeLillo takes advantage of this and makes it 3 wide for third. Who's gonna have the spot going into this corner? It's gonna be Zane Smith and Zachary DeLillo gonna gain a spot on Adam Garcia as well. And now we have playoff drivers running 1, 2, 3, 4. These guys are running for the championship. But Paul Jackson is still the leader of all of them. But Johnny Sauter is going to try and change that. Or Zane Smith or someone. And the top 3 drivers do have a win this season. However, Zachary DeLillo does not. And the 2 drivers who were just behind Paul Jackson all go to the inside line. And 3 wide for the lead in Twin Ring Motegi. Absolutely incredible stuff. As Johnny Sauter is in the middle of Paul Jackson and Zane Smith. And it's Zane Smith who goes all the way to the bottom lane. Zane Smith, who already has a win this season, trying to get another, as Paul Jackson and Zachary DeLillo are falling back, which is also allowing the 2 Smithfield Racing drivers to come through here. And speaking of Smithfield Racing drivers, it is Mitchell Collins who now takes the lead. And the playoff drivers who just had the lead there are now being rumbled by the Smithfield Racing drivers, and Ben Rose trying to get to the action as well. But Mitchell Collins now takes the lead. Zane Smith though trying to get that second win. Now of course, since we're in the playoffs, you know, wins do help, but they wouldn't really help as much. On that note, however, in these last 6 races, if you are a playoff driver or if you're any driver, the goal now is to just collect as many points as possible. And now the playoff drivers are actually starting to get set back by some non-playoff drivers, and Zane Smith, the only one up here, and Zane Smith right now trying to race with Mitchell Collins here for the lead. But Zane Smith does have a win. I forget the track that Zane Smith won at the first time. I think it was Papyrus Motorsports Park, but I could be totally wrong. I'm not sure. Unfortunately, I don't have my stats with me, so I can't tell you 100%. By the way, Zane Smith, the leader of all the playoff drivers, and he's doing pretty well. Now actually, it's a good thing for him that now he's surrounded by all these non-playoff drivers. As the playoff drivers who were just challenging Zane Smith are now falling back like a rock. And now Zane Smith's GMS teammate of Sheldon Creed is just coming up here now. And this has been a wild race, though. Troy Motegi providing some good racing today. As Sheldon Creed, who's had an atrocious season, now about to get around his teammate. And Sheldon Creed getting around him. And Zane Smith still stuck in the high line. That's going to be an advantage to Stuart Friesen, who's also on the low line. And yes, sir, there he goes. Stuart Friesen getting around Zane Smith. And Zane Smith now almost ready to fall like a rock. And these playoff drivers struggling a little bit in this first round of the playoffs. Now this is the first race out of 6 for the playoff drivers to, set themselves up for the championship finale. And some are having better days than others. And Mitchell Collins, who I don't think he has a win. But I'm always confusing with Adam Garcia. All I know for sure though is that one of the Smithfield Racing drivers won at Eldora. I can't remember which one it was. As Zane Smith continuing to fall back here. Pretty soon he's going to be back with his fellow playoff drivers. As Austin Hill getting on up. Well, we'll see if the playoff drivers can get back up here, but now time to focus on what's happening up front. As Mitchell Collins now trying to hold off Sheldon Creed. Also lap car. Jordan Anderson having the best of days. And Stuart Friesen goes beneath Sheldon Creed and also goes beneath Mitchell Collins. First time today we've seen a driver try to overtake 2 cars in one corner. He hasn't quite cleared Mitchell Collins yet though, but he will going through this corner. And Stuart Friesen, a Canadian driver, now leading in a Japanese race. Here comes Ben Rhodes, who does have a win this season, but was quite a while ago. And William Seaman as well, just getting around these guys. And Ben Rhodes, right now, looking for a way around Stuart Friesen. And Sheldon Creed dives beneath William Seaman. And Spencer Davis trying to get into this battle as well. Spencer Davis, a driver who is rarely, I say rarely, almost never running up front. And here he is running in the top 5. And Sheldon Creed looking for a way back around Ben Rhodes. As now we have less than 10 laps to go. And here we are coming up on Jordan Anderson lap down car. And Sheldon Creed getting back around Ben Rhodes. And there is Jordan Anderson, who was one of the drivers involved in the lap 3 crash. But surprisingly, he has been able to keep up the speed until now. As he's about to go a lap down. Not that it would change much because there's only one lap down truck. While he will hold up the drivers who are on the high line. Spencer Davis, who's on the high line, now getting held up by Jordan Anderson. Ben Rhodes to the inside of Sheldon Creed. These two in a pretty aggressive battle for second. Not for the lead, but for second. Single file through this corner. So 5 laps to go this time by. Stuart Friesen trying to get his second win of the season. As well as Ben Rhodes also looking for a second win. Stuart Friesen leads, but Ben Rhodes just looking for a way. Oh! But Ben Rhodes going to get interrupted by Sheldon Creed, who dives to the inside lane. We've seen a lot of that today. Sheldon Creed looking for his first win of the season. But Sheldon Creed and as well as Ben Rhodes are right now in a very aggressive fight with each other. Oh, but here comes Mr. Collins and goes beneath both the top 2 drivers. Yeah, the 2 running drivers. And Mitchell Collins, another driver, trying to go for 2 passes in 1 corner. 3 laps to go. This battle, though, is at least good for Stuart Friesen, as with all the battle going on, nobody can get to the back end of Stuart Friesen. Here comes David Gravel. David Gravel in his second start of the season. He did pretty well in his first start back at Seekonk Speedway. And now here he's all the way over in Japan, running in 3rd. Ooh, William Seaman getting right to the back of David Gravel, though. David Gravel trying to get around Mitchell Collins. 2 laps to go. And David Gravel getting around Mitchell Collins. This 24 GMS truck is still yet to visit victory lane in the Truck Series this season. And now he is just behind Stuart Friesen. But here comes William Seaman, who dives to the bottom lane. But these drivers just cannot seem to make an agreement getting up Stuart Friesen. And here we go, white flag, 1 moment to go to Twin Motegi. The battle is on for a second, but Stuart Friesen is pulling away. And William Seaman gets beneath David Gravel and is in a second. And David Gravel looks like he's going to come up with another good finish, but he's going to hold off. Rafael Lessard is just behind him now. Rafael Lessard just behind David Gravel, and David Gravel going to keep the position here. And William Seaman has one more chance to get around with Stuart Friesen, and it doesn't look like he is going to have enough time. And Stuart Friesen will get his second win of the season in the Kinkisharyo 200 at Twin Ring Motegi. Of all the drivers that could have won this race, we're in Japan. And it's not even an American that wins this race. It is the Canadian Stuart Friesen. Driving a Japanese truck. So a home race for Toyota. And a Toyota truck driver win in Toyota's home race. And they don't even have an American driver behind the wheel. It is, of course, Stuart Friesen. Pretty good stuff from Twin Ring Motegi. So ultimately, we didn't really see much happen as far as the playoffs or playoff battle. In fact, the highest finishing playoff driver was ultimately Grant Enfinger, which is actually good for him because Grant Enfinger already had the points lead going into this race, and he will still have his points lead after this race going to the next one. So, concerning the grid, you got Stuart Friesen with the win. William Seaman at second, David Gravel in third, Rafael Lessard in fourth, Ben Rhodes fifth, Christian Eck sixth, Mitchell Collins seventh, Logan Cole eighth, Sheldon Creed ninth, Adam Garcia in 10th, Grant Finger 11th, Zachary DeLillo 12th, Todd Gill in 13th, Zane Smith 14th, Spencer Davis 15th, John Nemechek 16th, Johnny Sauter 17th, Brendan Poole 18th, Cody Kuvala 19th, Tyler Grimm 20th, Matt Craft in 21st, Brian Truex 22nd, Austin Hill 23rd, Isaac Murray 24th, Chandler Smith 25th, Chase Dunbar 26th, Brett Melvin 27th, Christian Vargas 20th, Paul Jackson 29th, Tommy 60 30th, Marshall Burrow 31st, Spencer Boyd 32nd, Given 9 33rd, Derek Cross 34th, Cody Robal 35th, Now Decker 36th, Tate Fogelman 32nd, Angelica Rose 38th, Jennifer Joe Cobb 39th, also we saw 4th and Jordan Anderson in 41st, and Tanner Gray in 42nd. Well, this race will still have its effect in the playoffs, so it'll be interesting to see where everyone is in points, but it is Stuart Friesen who wins the day, and apparently for some reason the lights came out. It's probably supposed to be Celsius. Who cares about that? Anyways, that's all for the Truck Series at Turbo Techie. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Cup Series race here should be interesting tomorrow. And I will see you in whatever I make next.